What's up, everybody? Get Morgan on here real quick. Oops. Approve. Says it's adding you, Morgan.
Hey.
I can hear you.
Hey.
What up?
Can you hear
Hey.
me? Okay,
Yes.
let me adjust my
I
camera.
was gonna say, where are you at? This is a new spot. What's up?
It's like not in my usual corner. It's in the other side of the room, and tomorrow's our last full day in this house, so it's like
Exciting.
crazy. So next time we do this, I'll be in a whole new space.
I feel like we
So
should wear
that'll
party
be,
hats or something like to celebrate.
I know, have like a little party horn,
Yeah.
like, woo, yeah.
We should do that.
That looked different. That was a horn. That was not other things.
Or
But,
was it? And if
know.
it wasn't, it doesn't matter. So
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
all right.
But yeah, I'll have to find my special little corner there. And let's see. Okay, we gotta share this.
Yeah,
You're
so bear
probably
with
gonna
us.
beat me to it. Yeah, we gotta share
Keena
it in all
said,
the
"Yay,
right
miss y'all."
places.
Hi,
Hey,
Keena.
Keena. Now you've hung out with her, right?
Yeah, we've
Because
hung out.
she's
She's
in
cool.
Oklahoma, right?
Yep,
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
she watches us
good
on her
people.
lives, and you're
Yep.
like hanging out with her. Did you go to a concert or?
We went to what did we say? We went to concerts. We went to the drive-in movies.
Oh my God, you've been like everywhere
Yeah,
then.
we've done some cool stuff.
That's awesome.
I had met her
Let's see.
before that at an event.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
still connected. All right.
That's so awesome. Okay, let's see.
I just forgot.
Share
Where do I
now.
share that one?
Okay, there we go.
I
Cool.
got one more. I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
Bear
well,
with
hopefully
me.
hopefully our internet will behave today. We're not doing anything too controversial, so hopefully
That's
they'll
right.
leave us alone. Yeah.
Leave us alone and let us do our
Like,
shit.
we're gonna be nice, okay? It's gonna be super chill. Oh my gosh.
That's so weird. The event just disappeared.
Did it?
Yep. Bear
Oh
with
my
me for a second
gosh.
because now I gotta go find it this way. Hold on.
No, you're good.
I can do this. Entertain the people. I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm so entertaining, but not really.
So what has everybody been up to, by the way? I mean, how do you feel about our new, we're doing these bi-weekly? Wait, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, every other
Yeah.
week. Yeah, every other week. Yeah. I think it'll be good. It's good to change things up and just I know like you're busy with things and I'm busy with things. So
We
it's
got
nice
shit
to
going on. We got some things
we do
growing. That's what's
have
happening.
so much. Yes, so much going
Much
on.
good
So
stuff. I'm so
I think
excited.
every other week will be it'll be good. It'll be really good. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see.
My dog's barking.
Keena
now.
says
Okay.
you've been helping her come out of hibernation. That's good.
Come out and
I tend to
play.
hibernate in the winter, like the cold months. I'm like,
Sorry, my
"Oh,
dog is
I'm
being
not go
I
anywhere."
know.
What's
thinks
going on, Ivan?
He thinks he hears somebody.
Ivan.
There's literally nobody here. He's like,
Maybe he sees
come
other
here.
dimensions. Maybe there's someone in a different dimension
Probably.
that's chilling at your
I'm
place.
chilling him out real quick. So he's
Yeah.
barking.
Like, calm down. It's okay. You're safe. Everything's good.
He's really just trying to protect me, so there's that.
Well,
He's
he
a good
loves
dog.
you.
He does.
He loves you.
He's my little buddy.
It's like
Okay.
this is my lady.
So
Gotta protect
welcome,
her.
guys, officially. Now that we've got everything
Yes.
shared, to episode 23 of the Awaken Vlogcast. And today we're talking about slowing down to speed up and what that means. And it actually ties into like what both of us are experiencing ourselves in our world. And I know it's going to sync with a lot of you guys too.
Yes.
What's up, Kristen? Is it Kristen or Crystal though? I see you saying
What?
what's up. I was talking to Kristen, but sometimes it's Crystal on Kristen, so it's one of them. So what's up to both of you?
Oh, okay. Does she have two profiles, or she just likes to go by Crystal sometimes?
No, they have two. They're married.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so one time it's
Gotcha.
theirs. What's up, Angela?
If they're both watching at the same time, then it could be both.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So hello.
Hello to whoever, yeah.
It's Kristen. What's up, Kristen? All right. So we're talking about slowing down to speed things up today. And what that means in our lives, kind of like what Morgan was talking about, how we both have a lot going on. That's why we've restructured these Awaken vlogcasts to go bi-weekly instead of every week. One, that way we have more time for the content to put more stuff into it. And two, because we do have lives. We are creating things in our world. Everything that we talk about on here, we're implementing in our own lives. So we know how
Yep.
important it is to take time for self-care, just for grounding yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you can get really chaotic in your own life. So that's what we're
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
talking about today.
exactly. And chaos is never good for long periods of time. Like,
Yes.
you're going to run into chaotic moments in life just because that's
Yeah, and
how
you
it
got to
is.
handle
But
it.
if your life is just chaos all the time, like, it doesn't need to be that way. And that's not healthy for you. At least
100%.
in my case, I mean, that's what I believe. And, we do this, people have different beliefs and all that. You don't have to agree with us. But in my opinion, I'm like, you can't just be busy and have life be chaotic all the time, because then you can't stop and focus on you and like
Yeah.
what you want to do, your growth, the things that you want to change. And like Ashton said, we did restructure this because, gosh, we started this, was it March or April? Like, I forget, time's gone by so fast, but it's been,
It had to be like March. I think it was in March. I think it was towards the
yeah,
end of March is when we started this.
yeah. And we were doing it like every week, and that was
Yeah.
amazing. But things have changed in our life, and we're doing
Yeah.
all this self-care stuff, and so it's okay for things to change and for you to adjust
Yeah. To
things to your
reevaluate your course.
life. Yeah. And that's amazing. Like, I know for you and for me, like, we have all these amazing things going on,
Lots of
and it's
changes in
okay.
both of our worlds for
Exactly.
sure.
It's okay
Yeah.
for things to not be the way that they were, and
Mm-hmm.
for you to restructure everything. If that's best for your mental health and for your life and for your journey, like, you have to do that. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun anymore. Because if we were like, hey,
Exactly.
if we did this for 5 years and it was every week, we would get tired and bored, and then it wouldn't be fun anymore. And we want it to be fun. We want to
Yeah.
create this space, and we want to practice what we preach. So
100%, or else we're just
yeah.
talking out of our asses. So we don't
Right.
do that.
We don't want to talk out of our butts all the time.
So if you're just joining us, the way this works, this is the AWAKEN Vlogcast. Morgan and I sit here and talk. We'll talk about certain topics and things like that. But this is an interactive vlogcast, meaning everyone who's viewing and watching, which you guys,
Yeah.
most of you that are on here know. We've got people commenting and stuff like that. We interact live. It's an open dialogue conversation. So feel free at any
Yep.
time to jump into the conversation we're having. If you have questions or something you want to share, put it in the comments. We read them back live and we respond live. And if you watch this as a replay, we always go back and respond to the comments later on too. So that's how this works,
Yep.
in case it's your first time. But if it's not,
Exactly.
and this is your 23rd time, welcome back. Thank you for
We love
being
you.
with us.
I know, we're like, you've put up with us for this long.
Yeah.
Like, we love you so much. Oh
So-
my gosh. It's like, I think of it like, how churches have life groups and things. I'm like, this is almost kind of like that in a way. It's just a group of people, a gathering of people in a space where we just talk about different subjects that come up, things that are important to us, and like, we interact. And I'm friends with a lot of people on social media that I've never met before, but
Same. I have people
you
all
don't
over
have
the
to
world.
have that physical connection to have a connection with somebody. I mean,
Energy is
there's
energy.
exactly.
You don't have to be like when I'm doing
through
my
time
Reiki
and
lives.
space.
Yeah, it
doesn't matter.
matter.
Yeah.
100%.
So we love everyone that joins us
Yeah, so thank
in
you.
this space with us. Yes.
Yeah. So we were also talking about, like, as far as self-care and things like that, when Morgan talked about being in chaos all the time, the reason you can't stay in chaos, first of all, you're going to be in fight or flight or freeze mode all the time, and that's going to wreak havoc on your nervous system, first of all. That's
So
not
bad.
okay.
So bad. Yeah.
And then second of all, you don't want to live a life where life happens to you. You want to create life, because that's where I talk about all the time about the victim mentality and the victor mentality. So one is the victim, and everything happens to that person. And I'm sure you know someone in your world like that, where they're just always complaining, like, oh, this happened now, or this happened now. And it's always somebody else's
Just like
fault.
negative.
Yeah, 100%. And it's always someone else's fault, right? Whereas the
Yeah.
other person is a victor, and they're like, no, things are going to happen, but this is what I choose. This is how I choose to respond because this thing happened. Or this is how I choose to create the life that I want to live, instead of just letting it happen to them. So that's what we're saying, like, you can't just live in the chaos. You have to be purposeful and intentional about the life that you're creating and you want to live.
Yeah, because we are creators.
That's what we're
So
here to
if
do,
your
people.
life is chaos all the time, like, you're creating that chaos in some way.
You are participating in it. And I know a lot of victim mentality people, which I'm sure most people who are watching this are not those people, but if someone's watching this that happens to come across, like, you are agreeing to be in that chaos. You are part of the problem.
Exactly. And that's just not good. And I wonder, like where does it start? Like, how did this start? Where everyone's just like, I have to be busy all the time and I got to do this and all these expectations. And is it, I don't know. I think I'm probably going to answer my own question because that's what I do. I like ask questions out loud and then I answer my own questions. Yeah.
But that's what we talk about on here all the time. Ask yourself questions and you'd be surprised what comes up. So.
Exactly. So there's a lot of programming that comes into that. And just with my own journey, everything that I've been through, it just all comes back to programming. And I found I used to be really, really hard on myself and just guilt trip myself all the time because I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't enough. Like I wasn't taking my kids out enough or doing enough with my husband or for myself. There was just so much guilt. And I just felt stressed and like bad all the time. And then I'm like, wait, why do I have to be busy?
Yeah.
Why do I have to put my kids in sports if they're not interested?
Or you're
like, I don't have to do that.
Everything. You do things a lot differently than most people.
Yeah. But I homeschool my kids. And, in the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the right thing. What are people going to say? Like you get the whole like, well, how are they going to be socialized and all those things? And you're like, well, if they're in school, they're going to like tell them to shut up. Like, don't talk to your friends. Like, don't socialize in class. And so it's this whole, it's this whole weird thing. And so once I really started working on myself and kind of slowing down and realizing what's important to me and my family, I found it was more calming, more us time, just hanging out and chill. And it's just, oh my gosh, like I just love our life so much. And that doesn't mean that it's perfect and that I don't question myself. But we've just manifested this amazing life where we're so much happier now because we've decided to slow down and to not keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
I don't want what the Joneses have. They're too busy. They're like up at 6 a.m., like getting their kids to school at freaking 7:30. And I'm like, what the heck? My kids, there's a rule. I'm like, you don't leave your room until 8 o'clock.
That's an awesome rule. I wish
you don't leave your room
until I love that rule.
Like they'll come out. I'm like, it's not 8 o'clock yet. Get back in your room. But that's good. They're not rushed, and we just kind of do what we want to. And then Jeremy works from home a lot because he's manifested these jobs. And so he gets to be home with the kids and we're home together and we go out for walks and we have family game night. And, we're not rushing to practices and all this other stuff. We're just together as a family unit. And I don't think that that's very common anymore. And that makes me kind of sad because I do love it so much. Our kids, and again, this is from a parent's perspective, but your kids grow so fast. They're going to be adults most of their life.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
when you're just rushing, but you have a niece.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
And
I have
a
kids
nephew,
and
they grow fast.
Quick she changes. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how much I see kids just get shoved into this busy life. Yeah. And then that's just programmed in their head. Like, we just have to be busy all the time. Yeah. We're at school or we're doing homework or doing sports or we're doing classes or we're doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want any of that. And that's worked out really well for us. That's the life we wanted. I said, screw what everyone else thinks. This is what makes me happy. Yeah. This is clearly working for us and for my kids. So this is what I'm going to do. And we make little tweaks here and there. But it's slowing down has just made our life so much more fulfilling and happy and has actually progressed us really far as what we know and what we learn and what we choose to do. Like our
you guys
growth
have like expanded so much from when I first met you. Like it's the coolest thing to see it. Like
we're about to move to 5.5 acres of land. In a little bit, it's a bigger house because we've got 3 boys that are growing. And we manifested this because I'm like, I want them to learn how to grow their own food, we just play outside. And I'm going to get them some power tools. I'm like, just go outside, like build something, just like use your imagination, get out in nature and that, you know, there's not neighbors around. I don't have to worry about, oh, my kid's walking down the street. Is some weirdo in a van going to come pick them up and take them away? Like, that gives me anxiety. And I'm like, I'm going to remove that from my life. I don't want to have to worry about the safety of my kids. I'm like, go run around on our 5 acres. Let's grow the food. We're going to have chickens and bees. And I'm just so excited for this next chapter. It's been a long time coming. And if we hadn't put in the work and really focused on what we wanted, we wouldn't have manifested all of this so quickly. And it did happen very quickly. The house thing did.
So your bus thing did, like all this.
The bus, yes, we get to work on the bus. That's a whole other thing. And I'm like, it's parked in our driveway right now. And buses make great moving vans, by the way. You could put all kinds of shit in there.
Yeah, and if it rains or whatever, it's all protected.
Yeah, it's all protected. So yeah, it's funny because it manifested really quickly, but also it didn't, because it took years of self-care and self-work to get us to the point where we can manifest what we want quickly.
That's where people don't understand the connection of those two things, 100%.
Yeah. It's like, you got to do the work here, and it could take years. I mean, years.
And the reason is because you have to raise your vibration. So she'd been doing all the internal work to raise her vibration. Therefore, when she wanted to manifest and attract things, now she's a vibrational match for it because she's raised her vibration.
It happens.
But now it seems like she's getting it so quick, but you don't see all the background work she's been doing.
Yes.
I mean,
no one sees the background stuff.
Yeah, because
that's where the struggle is. That's the hardest part, is going through the years of, and I talk about this a lot. My relationship with my husband was really rocky. I mean, for so long, and it was awful, and we even considered divorce, and like I hated him at times, and it was just awful.
Power couple, and it's the coolest thing. I love it.
And everything completely changed, and so, you know, just don't judge anyone's story, because you don't know what they're struggling with right now, or what they've struggled with in the past. Yeah, don't compare, because your journeys are so different.
Your journey for a reason.
Yes, but it is yours, and you have to accept that you need to go through your own personal growth, ask your own questions. You got to go through your own shit. But once you do, it is crazy how much aligns so quickly. And you really do manifest almost instantly. Yeah, it's really crazy.
I am so crazy good at manifesting. Like, it's crazy. Like, sometimes I just laugh when I do it. I'm just like, that's funny.
You're like, that's really good. Like, do you get front parking spaces a lot?
All the time.
Like, I feel like I do.
All the time.
Like, that's just, like, at the beginning, I
do it all the time in my apartment.
That's one of the things you practice with.
Yeah. That was one of the first things I started with. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's just like, there's without even thinking about it, there's always the perfect parking spot.
And I say thank you every time. So So we got a lot
gratitude,
of comments.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's go back to this.
So I'm going to go back up real quick so I don't lose them. And hopefully they're not cut off. If they're cut off, I'll let you read them.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, I think I can read all this one. Angela said, I definitely need some time to have self-care with working and going to school all the time. It's hard to have me time. Okay. So if it feels hard to do it, that definitely means you need to make time to do it. And even if it's like 5 minutes in the morning before you get up, to yourself, or 5 minutes before you go to sleep, just start there. Like, you don't necessarily have to make this grandiose plan of, I have to have 30 minutes in the morning to meditate before I start my day. Like, just start with 5 minutes. And what's going to happen
with like one or two things, not like a list of 10 things. Yeah, just like you'll get way overwhelmed.
Baby steps. And then what's going to happen is, repetitively, because repetition's everything. The more you do that, it's going to go from 5 minutes. You're going to start feeling good. You're going to want to bump it up automatically over time. You're going to like, this is really good. Let's make it 10 minutes or 15 or whatever it ends up being. It doesn't really matter. But just start there with that is what I would say.
Absolutely.
Still going. Angela said, it's my first time. I'm considering this as self-care for tonight. There you go. Yeah, this is a form of self-care. Because you're, listening to perspectives that are not your own. Anytime you immerse yourself, whether it be a book, a vlogcast, a podcast, a documentary, anything like that, that is a form of self-care because you're stepping outside of yourself.
You're feeding your brain, your spirit. You know, you're thinking about other things. You're not just watching cat videos. On Facebook, which those are funny. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't like run into those. But when you're like watching 3 hours of cat videos, like put a podcast in there. Like, read a book or, read one chapter, start small. And
Kristen said
those little things are important.
They get addicted to the victimness. Yes, it's the sympathy. We were talking about the victim mode or mentality earlier. Angela said, I think it's hard for some to admit that. 100%. It's the hardest thing to admit if you are in victim mentality.
Yeah, that's almost I have experience with this. Not myself, although I'm sure I've been through my own victim stuff. But there's someone who's been in our family that they're just, luckily we've separated them from our life, but that's their identity. That's okay. It's that like if they aren't the victim, then they don't know who they are. They may not understand it or talk about it or admit to it, but their whole life is centered around that identity. So if they're not a victim, then who am I?
Yes.
And then that's going to require a lot of internal work that they just don't want to do right now.
Yes, 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
So it's funny that Kristen said this next comment because this is literally on my notes. But remember when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So that comes with that. Yeah, that's one of the sayings I like because it's true. It's like when you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to something that you do want to do, right? Because you only have so much time during the day. Everybody has the same 24 hours. It's up to you to choose what you do with it. The millionaire, billionaire, whatever, has 24 hours in a day. What are they doing with their 24 hours versus what are you doing with your 24 hours? Mm-hmm. Okay, you'll have to read Angela's because it's too long and it cut off for me. The one right under Kristen's, if you can read it.
Okay, so Angela says, so I have a question because I can relate to that with my son. I don't have him with me all the time, so I try to be interactive and spend some time with him when I can. But with being in school and working full time all of the time, it's hard. And I feel that guilt that you're talking about. How can I don't know, schedule it all in where nothing is lacked and etc. So that's hard. Mom guilt is some of...
Yeah, I think you should speak for this one because I can't really touch on this one.
Yeah, mom guilt is really, gosh, it's so heavy because you just love your kids so much and you want to do everything right. And when you're like us, or when I say us, I mean people that are woke and they're working on themselves, and
when you're aware of your life,
when you're aware, exactly, and especially as a parent, when you're working on yourself and you realize all these programming things
I'm
that
sure
have
you
gone...
find more that way because you're a parent.
Yeah, because you're like, oh my gosh, you realize this program in your head. And you're like,
my mom. Oh wait.
I'm trying to reprogram myself, and at the same time, I'm aware I'm programming this tiny human, but I'm not fully reprogrammed yet. So you're like, oh my God, am I just screwing everything up? So mom guilt is really heavy. It is intense. So something like that. Again, it's starting small in baby steps. With work and school, that's just a lot. Even with me working from home and homeschooling, like the day, it just goes by so fast. So I would recommend, maybe have a night, or one day a week, maybe the weekend or an evening where you just go out with it, go out to on a walk to the park, or go see a movie, or have a family game night, where I don't know if he likes video games. Like we like to play Mario Kart. I
love Mario Kart. It's
one of the best games ever.
I'm super competitive though, so I don't like losing.
Oh, I know. I win first a lot, and my kids are like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Like 20 years, kid. Like you got nothing on me."
I'll play you. I'll beat you. You'll be second place when you play me. It's okay.
I'm like, it's okay. When I'm gone, you can be the reigning champion. So start small. Like I said, find an evening or a day where, like, Tuesday nights we do this, or Thursday nights. Just start there. Find one thing that you want to do and just start doing that consistently, because then he's going to look forward to that. Yes. He's like, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday night, and
like Taco Tuesday.
It's game night, or maybe make it Taco Tuesday. I don't know. Whatever it is he likes to do and that you like to do together to bond, start there, and then you'll be able to look forward to that during the week. And, you know, maybe as that goes on, you realize, oh, this really isn't that hard to fit into the schedule. And then maybe you can add another day or maybe a weekend or something. So don't be too hard on yourself as a mom. Just start small and, you know, just make that time happen, and just trust and know that you're doing your best. The fact that you're even aware of these things and that you want to do better
that says a lot.
Is huge. I don't know if it's a quote or where I heard it, but I'm like, I feel like the mom that's always worried about if she is a good mom is definitely a good mom,
just because she has awareness.
At least aware that she wants to be a good mom.
Yeah.
So sending love and hugs, because it's hard. So start family game night or movie night or something. Yeah.
You'll have to read Lorraine's because it
Lorraine's
also
too.
cut off online.
Okay.
So I can't read the whole thing.
So Lorraine says, I grew up on 97 acres. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
My
my parents rented.
That is so cool.
That's a lot. I'm like, I have 5.5 acres. I'm like, that's a lot. 97?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. So I grew up on 97 acres. My parents rented with a great farmhouse. Eventually they purchased the home once the owner started subdividing his property, but we got 17 years on that magical land. I had a idyllic childhood. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Just like out in nature. Just like running around the farm, the land.
Childhood. Yeah. And adulthood, if I'm being honest. I mean, I just want to do that now.
Right? Yeah. I know, exactly. We don't want to adult. We just want to be kids all the time.
We're just grown-ass children. That's all we are, guys. Literally,
we really are. It's true.
And I think childlike, that's something you should never lose, honestly. Like a childlike heart.
It's programmed out of you almost. Like, you can't do this. That's only for kids. And you're like, says who?
I choose to view the world through the eyes of a child. Like, I like new things and trying new things, like with wonderment and just excitement, instead of pretending I already know everything because I'm an adult. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Let's just try to see what happens.
Yeah. Experiment. What's it going to hurt?
So, what did she say?
Let's see. So Angela was replying to Kristen. Okay. Yeah, that's a new feature where it's like replying to so she says.
That's actually very handy because then we know what's going with what.
Yeah, that's true.
Good job, Facebook. You did something good.
Exactly. So she was saying, I think replying to
the when you say yes to something you don't want to do.
Right. When you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And she says yes, which can be really frustrating at times when you're trying to be productive. You know, and I hate that word, like productive.
It's just priorities. That's all it is. It's your tasks throughout a day are in an order of priorities. And if you think you don't have enough time, that just means you don't prioritize this thing enough to want to put it higher on your list. That's all it means. Because you can make it fit, is what I'm saying. And work.
Exactly.
Don't also stress yourself out. That's not what I'm saying.
And when you rephrase things like, you know, oh, I didn't have time to read today, or I didn't have time to play with my kid.
Yes.
Like, I didn't make that a priority. When you change that language in your mind, it really important. Gets you in the heart, especially for me as a parent with the mom guilt. Like, oh, I just didn't have time to play with my kids today. I'm like, nope, you didn't make time to do that. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. And
something that you're like, oh, I don't have time to do this. Well, you have just as much time as anybody else on the planet. So start rephrasing it like, I didn't make time to do this thing, and then see how you feel about that thing that you didn't make time for. And I guarantee
there's an abundance of time. Time is just here. It never stops. It's just always around. Like right now, we're in time.
It's irrelevant. Yeah. Time is man-made, really. So anyway.
Yep. Really
Angela said, love cat videos. And Mario Kart.
They're so funny.
Yes, Mario Kart. Okay.
Oh, heck yes. Mario Kart, cat videos. Sweet. Okay, good. So, man.
Do you have any notes? Because I got notes as always, because I'm a noter. So.
You know, I never have notes. Rarely do I have notes unless it's something super complicated like aliens and I have to remember what my notes are. Pyramids. Ooh, which by the way, I want to go to that pyramid in the Grand Canyon.
Yes, that.
I so badly want to do that.
I don't think
I know we probably get shot down. Be like, you can't enter here. I know. I don't want to die yet, but I really want to see that Egyptian pyramid in the Grand Canyon.
People are probably like, what the hell are they talking about?
I know.
Look it up.
Sorry. We go off on random tangents. Yeah.
Welcome to AWAKEN Vlogcast. This is what we do.
I know. Just touch on everything.
All right. So some of the notes that I have are just things that you can do to help you slow down, like we were talking about earlier. So that's just something I'm going to talk about real quick.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. So meditation obviously is one. And don't think, most people are like, oh, I can't meditate, or I tried meditating once and it didn't work. I don't want to hear that, because there's literally a million different ways to meditate. It's not just sitting there, legs crossed in lotus position, just like, Yes, that's one form of meditation. But there's breathing meditations. There's walking meditations. Anything that you can do for hours or like a long period of time, and you look up and you're like, oh my God, look how much time has passed. That's a form of meditation. So for you, if that's like playing an instrument or singing or gardening
or art,
building, writing, drawing, whatever, all those are forms of
gardening,
meditation. Knitting. I don't know how to knit, but
I don't either.
So those are all forms of meditation. Anything that you can do that you can lose yourself and submerge yourself in, and you look up and you're like, oh my God, this much time has passed. That's a form of meditation. Sometimes I think that even these things like this, like a type of conversation, can almost be meditative.
Almost, because we'll look up and be like, oh my God, it's been like
that always
2 hours.
When we do the
it really does,
Vlogcast, and I think it's because we get in a state, it is like a meditative state where you're just in flow and things just flow through you. It's not like you're even having to think about what you're saying. Like, it's literally just coming. And I think when you get to that state, you're in that meditative state. So I think it can be a type of meditation. That's my opinion, I know. But so
I agree.
Kristen said cat video meditation. I mean, sure, if that's what you want to do, I mean, I'm sure that would count.
I mean, time does go by fast. You're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for like
God, I went on the YouTube.
What am I doing?
Rabbit hole, or in your case,
in the
yes, but
the internet portal, and just end up like random stuff.
So other things that you can do. Other things you can do to slow down besides meditation. So setting intentions. So, and this, you can do this in the morning before, like when you first wake up. You can do this in the shower. You can do this at any point. I do this like before I eat even, right? Like I'll say my intentions. Some people say prayers, whatever. Or throughout the day, if I'm driving in my car somewhere and I think of something, I'll put that intention out there. Just setting your intentions of things that you want or that you want to speak into existence. The other thing that I do right behind that is the next one I have down is the gratitude list. So to say things that you're grateful for.
Yes.
And you're like, well, how's that slowing down? Because you're taking the time to actually stop and think about what you are grateful for in your life, instead of just taking all these things for granted, like breathing, standing here, talking, like being able to do all these things that some people are not able to do. Like, we take it for granted all the time. So just stopping to be grateful for those things. One, it'll help you feel great because it's going to raise your vibration. And two, it's just showing gratitude. Therefore, you attract more of that. When we talked about, what episode was that? We did Law of Attraction. We were talking about that. You have to raise your vibration to be able to attract that which is a like vibration. That's how Law of Attraction works faster. You get things quicker, which is why Morgan was talking about the things she's manifesting, is because she's doing the work. She's raising her vibration. That's why she's attracting things so quickly. Or what seems to be so quickly, but it's because she's put in all this time of doing the work. So now it's just like coming.
Yes. Yep.
Some other things you can do to slow down or take a warm bath. So like a warm Epsom salt bath, which I do all the time because I'm an empath, and it just feels so good.
It's just nice. You just like melt away.
It is. So
do you take like super hot baths where you're like almost a lobster, like cooking in boiling water? It seems like, because I do.
I don't take super hot.
As hot as I can.
I can't do that.
As hot as I can stand it. Then like my skin is.
I'd pass out. There's no way, because I've had heat exhaustion, so I can't do that. So I'm not trying to be a lobster.
Okay.
I mean, I keep
like
it warm. But I put Epsom salt in there because Epsom salt itself is grounding, and it helps cleanse things out too. So like soaking in an Epsom salt bath, warm Epsom salt bath for like 15-20 minutes. Good way to ground yourself. It also helps the Epsom salt with like aches and pains and bruises and wounds and all sorts of stuff. So
it's great for the human body that gets tired
because of the magnesium that's in it too. It helps with headaches, things like that, and you're absorbing that through your body. I already said intentions. Yoga or stretching of some type would be really good. To slow down, because it's making you really pay attention to your body. I don't know if you've ever done yoga or anything like that, but it does really make you focus on your body, your breath. I mean, people think yoga's easy. Let me tell you something. It's not.
It's not.
It's super hard, actually, when you're first starting anyway, and then it gets easier. But you make your body do things that you're like, you want me to do what now? Like,
and your body's like, what the hell are you doing to me? This is not normal. Yeah.
So those are things you can do: stretching, yoga, dancing it out. So slowing down, like I'm not talking about like slow dancing, but like just taking time to play your favorite song and just being stupid in your living room, just dancing it out, just having a good time. Especially
jiggle
if you have
a little bit,
day.
wiggle around. Yeah.
Shake it and jiggle it. I think we did it.
I'm jiggly, okay?
You're so stupid. I think we did a
It's just the
Vlogcast
truth.
episode where we talked about that, I'm pretty sure we did, or maybe I talked about it on one of my lives, but about changing your state. And what I mean by that is, if you're upset or sad or mad or whatever, and you're sitting down in a certain state, your body, your physiology is just like, meh, okay? You're going to continue to be in that emotional state until you get up and you shake. You change your physiology, and then it therefore changes your mood. That's why people do the power poses like the Y pose or the Superman pose. It really does change your physiology and your energy in your body. Something else you can do is journal. So you can journal about your day. You can do the typical journal like, oh, this is what happened to me today, blah, 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 blah. Or I like to keep a gratitude journal. So the gratitude journal is nothing. It literally is just good things, just gratitude things. So I'll put in there good experiences that I have with people. I'll put good memories that I've created with someone, quotes, some of my favorite quotes, some of my favorite song lyrics, because anybody that knows me knows I love music. I'll put pictures in there, drawings, just anything like that. You just want to fill this journal with gratitude so that if you're having a really shitty day, you can just pick this thing up, and no matter where you flip to it, you just start reading, and it's going to tell you like all these good things, and it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Like I put things that people have said to me, like because I get messages and stuff all the time, and like I always feel them right in my heart chakra. I'm just like, oh, this makes me feel so good. So I put it in.
Like it's a little hug on my heart.
Yes, it's exactly. It feels like someone's just like, oh, here, just let me hug your heart real quick.
Yeah.
So I put those in there so that if I'm having a shitty day, because I'm human like everybody else, and I do have those days, I can just go and pick it up and be like, oh, okay, I feel better. It just helps me to remind myself.
That's good. And I feel like people don't. We take gratitude for granted because there's a lot of people, they just, even like the shittiest day, you can find something to be grateful about. I always find the silver lining. Like the smallest things.
People always make comments, but I'm just like, it's there. Look for it.
Yeah, exactly. And that will change your perspective and help your growth exponentially. Just being grateful for the sunshine or the air that you're breathing, or that look at that beautiful flower on the ground. I mean, just really enjoying the beauty of our reality. There's so many tiny things that are truly magnificent that we often ignore because we're too busy. We're too busy like rushing around. We can't stop and like smell the flowers.
Yeah, like an example would be you're going to work, right? And all of a sudden there's traffic or whatever. And you're just bitching about the traffic. Like, oh my God, there's traffic. Now I'm going to be late, blah, blah, blah. So I don't do that. When I have traffic, I'm like, oh, thank you. This is keeping me safe. This could have kept me from being in that wreck that just happened way up there.
I do that too. Yeah. Or like a train comes by and like, you know, you're like, most people are like, oh, damn it, there's a train.
And I'm like, oh, I had this moment for myself. Cool.
My grandfather, he was into model trains, so really into trains. So anytime a train goes by, it's for me, I'm like, oh, that's him like saying hi. And also like, oh, well, this could be preventing a wreck that's up ahead or something weird. I'm like, this is happening for a reason. So thank you, Granddaddy, for being here with me and, you know, keeping me safe.
And I mean, I do that all the time. Anytime that there's especially something negative going on outside externally of me, like if I'm in a store or at a restaurant, somebody's just being an asshole and I have a way to interfere, like I will do that. And I don't mean interfere as like I don't match energy. I'm not like, if this person's being a pompous ass, I'm not going to go over there and be a pompous ass. I like to fill people with kindness, not kill them with kindness, because I'm not trying to kill anybody, but I like to fill them. And sometimes it's those people who are acting that way that need it the most. So they're so used to people responding to match their energy, it kind of throws them off when someone like me comes up and like, hey, what's up? You know, you're having a good day? Like, completely different energy, and it like is short circuits them for a minute, because what I'm doing is I'm breaking the cycle. Because they're stuck in a rut of whatever they're used to doing. And now I'm bringing it to awareness because I'm not matching that. I'm like, oh, that's not what we're going to play that game. We're not going to play that board game. So it's just really, it's a game to me though, in a way, because it's funny to like, I feel like I'm what are those, like the people that wear the bomb suits and they go up to the bomb, they're like, green wire.
Like the bomb diffusers?
Yes.
The diffusers? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like
The bomb squad?
Yes, the bomb squad.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'm the bomb squad, but yeah. Anyway.
The bomb squad. Oh my God, that's
okay. So I digress. We're going back to my list. Okay. All right. So another thing you could do, decluttering. So your environment has a lot to do with your internal world. Your external world does have a lot to do with
I've
it.
done that a lot.
Like your home is what I'm talking about. I know some things you can't control, like your workspace, stuff like that. Even then, you have your little desk and area that you can control. But you can always control this. But I mean, like decluttering things like that are just stacking up that you never use, or things that you know at one time it meant something to you, now it doesn't. So it's okay to get rid of it. What is that? There's a show that everyone's watching on Netflix now. What is
Marie Kondo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that because not only is she telling you to declutter, it's not your typical like, oh, here, let's just throw your shit away in this box and get rid of it. She's literally making you go by item, energetically asking yourself, does this bring me happiness? Or what does she say? Does this make me happy?
Joy. Does it bring me joy?
Yeah. And if the answer is no, boom. That's how easy that is. Because if it doesn't bring you joy, why would you want it in your life? There's literally no other reason. Like, any other reason's irrelevant if it's not causing you joy. So get rid of it.
Exactly. And a closet is a good place to start with that, because closets are usually where we put just all that random shit. That's where we started. You know, we're not full on minimalist. And then again, there's not like a right way to be minimalist.
But there's a lot of stuff you gotta get rid of.
Yeah, there's just so much that we acquired. And I look back, just part of our journey. One of them was getting out of credit card debt, because you're just, you know, again, going back to keeping up with the Joneses. You're like, well, we bought all this stuff, and like, why? Like, look at all this money we wasted. Just like, it didn't bring me joy. And so going through that process of really just minimizing your closet space, which has a lot to do with like clothes and shoes, how good you feel, just getting rid of those things that are just sitting there taking up space. And they are taking up energetic space too. It does affect your environment.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Because everything holds a vibration. Everything in our world, honestly, is vibrating just really quickly. Even the things that are solid, including us. We're still just vibrating really quickly. So if you have a lot of stuff in your space, like Morgan just said, that's energetically screwing up with your energy field and things like that. So that's why it's important.
Yeah.
If it's not serving you and giving you joy, get rid of it.
Exactly. That's a great place to start. It's really cool to feel the difference in your home after that you've done that.
You're just
we've taken out
because you do.
God, truckloads over the years of just stuff. Yeah. And now that we're moving, I'm like, thank God we did that.
I do that
we still have a lot to move, but I'm like, I'm so glad we got rid of all that shit we didn't need. Otherwise, I'd just have to move it and store it in the new place. I'm like, I do
that every time I move. So after I moved from I still have stuff in a storage unit right now that I'm slowly but surely, like, just a little bit at a time trying to get rid of it. But anytime that I move, I use it as an opportunity to declutter, to get rid of things, because you accumulate things over a certain amount of time. That just is how it is. Yep. Okay, so a couple of things I have on my list about slowing down, which you said earlier, taking a walk, whether that's barefoot. I know in wintertime you can't really do that, but just being in nature, taking a walk.
You could, if you don't mind the cold feet.
I mean, I don't want people to get sick though, so that's all I'm saying.
But there's people that they literally wear flip-flops, like out in the snow, in the rain and sleet and stuff. There's people that they're like, I just wear flip-flops all the time. No. So yeah.
I just can't do that. My feet are cold in like summertime in my tennis shoes with my socks
like they would fall off. Like, it would literally break
they'd be
off.
just blue and just like, I'm out, deuces.
Like philosopher foot.
So taking a walk in nature, you know, playing with animals, things like that. Eating right. So I'm not saying you have to eat healthy all the time by any stretch of imagination, because I'm a junk food fiend. That's what I do. But intention is everything too. I also put intention in my food. I Reiki my food. I do things like that. But just paying attention to what you are eating, it's all about moderation. Like, it doesn't mean you can't have those things at all, but eat them in moderation. Because from what I can tell you, from what I work with my clients as far as like rewiring the mind and things like that, a lot of people have an emotional attachment to food that they don't even realize that they have, and it's so crazy. Like, it's so
I
crazy.
eat when I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm like, oh, I'm
There was
bored.
literally,
I need a snack on something.
listen, in my training for, one of my trainings for NLP, there was actually a lady that she was addicted to chocolate, and she didn't know why she was addicted to chocolate. Trace it back, and it comes out it's because her grandfather, when she was a little girl, she'd sit on his lap, he'd give her like a Hershey's Kiss or something, right? So there's that chocolate. So she was tying in her mind, we talk about programming all the time, she tied chocolate to love. So as an adult, she grew up, and anytime she was really depressed, feeling unloved, whatever, she would literally go like hoard candy, steal her kids' candy in the middle of the night, like eat it just like crazy, right? But it's because she was trying to fill herself with love, thinking it was in chocolate. We know, obviously, if you look at the ingredients, love is not in there, but she was trying to do that because
Sadly.
her brain tied those together, that chocolate equals love. So we do that with lots of food. Like you said, it's a comfort thing, whatever it is for you. So just pay attention. When you're starting to feel a certain way, do you crave certain foods? Because I guarantee you have a link. We all do. It all happens.
Yeah. And I like how you say with that, like, it's okay to treat yourself, because I feel a lot of with the...
Because if you don't, you're just like, you're building this bigger energy behind not having this thing either. Like, that's not healthy either.
And then, at least in my case, it's just, you're aware of the things. I'm aware of so many things, like way too many things. If you follow me on Facebook, you're like, oh my God, Morgan, you're like insane.
If you follow either one of us on Facebook, I'm sure you just have a great day and you're welcome. So
I know, I'm like, just like, I'm aware of all the things.
Yeah.
And like, even the food that we eat, I'm like, oh my gosh, this has this in it, or it has like artificial colors. And we eat really good, but we're not perfect. You know, we're not
such thing as perfect.
Raw vegan and all that stuff.
I could never be a vegan, guys. I love cheese. I love cheese products.
I know, I love cheese too. And every now and then, you know what? I just want a damn donut, okay? I know it's not
donuts are my weakness.
Healthy, but I'm not eating donuts every single day. It's like, you know what? Maybe on my birthday, I want a birthday donut. Do you? Do you really? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. What do I have?
Almost I will say every morning. Not saying it's a good habit to have. Don't pick that up. But I'm just saying it is what it is. Okay.
Ashton does it, so I mean, I'm just kidding.
There's lots of things that I do. I'm human, people. Like,
you are. Ice cream, like, I mean, you gotta have ice cream sometimes.
I love ice cream, and it can just be plain vanilla ice cream, but it's my jam. My Haagen-Dazs ice cream. It's so delicious.
Oh. It's good. I love Tillamook ice cream. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So, and that's the thing. It's okay to like these things. So, and there's so much pressure around, well, you're not really this way if you eat these things. And you're like, I'm trying my best, and I can't give up everything.
I'd be dead.
Otherwise, you're
first
just,
of all. I'm not even living
depressing.
Yeah.
It would be depressing to give up all these things that you do enjoy. And so, you know what? It's okay to have a donut or to eat a Kit Kat, or every now and then I get on a Twizzlers pull and peel kick, because I
like how
there's
you're
an
specific.
emotional.
You're like, no, pull and peel, not the other Twizzlers.
My back in like high school, my best friend, who lives in Germany now, so I don't get to see her a lot, we'd have slumber parties at each other's houses. And we'd always go and get snacks, and Twizzlers pull and peel was one we always got those. So I think there's some like nostalgic, emotional connection with those.
Which is what I said. There is a connection.
Yeah, and you know what? It has that red 40 coloring in it.
Whatever.
Like, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
I can have it every now and then. My body, I tell my body, I'm like, okay, this isn't a health food, but it's not going to hurt you. You can enjoy this.
Yes, that's the trick.
This one time, and my body, you will process this, and it's not going to destroy you. I used to say, and you helped me with this a lot, I'm like, I'm just eating poison.
I'm like, well, quit saying that. Why are you saying
and you're like,
right
stop it. You're
your
programming
body is listening to you. You are, because your body doesn't know when you're joking. So those people that say things like that, like, you're literally telling your body that, just FYI.
Yeah. So instead, I'm like, my body can handle this for a treat. My body will enjoy this treat without it wreaking havoc. So, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not eating poison anymore. I really appreciate it.
I'm not eating poison anymore. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's comments. Let's go to the comments, and then I'll finish my thing.
Okay. I think we left off at cat video meditation, and then
Kina
Kina says,
you want to read it?
"Oh, you want to go?
You want to go? You go. It's all right.
I'll read the long ones. You read the short ones. Yeah.
All right. So I set intentions while driving to meet with clients. It helps check my vibration before going into someone's house. That's awesome. That's a great thing to do. I do that before I go to Reiki sessions, so I like that. Angela says, that sounds really interesting. The raising vibration. Do you have any books you could recommend to read up on? So obviously, first and foremost, the one Morgan and I talk about the most, if you're just getting into these things, would be The Secret. And there's also the movie on Netflix. That's where I would definitely start. Talks about law of attraction. If you want to go a little deeper than that, I would probably recommend Asking and It's Given by Abraham Hicks. Mm-hmm. Do you have any that you would recommend as far as raising vibration? Any of the Eckhart Tolle books, I like reading a lot.
Yeah, those are. I did an Audible. I forget which one of his it was, but it was really good. There was one that I read. Rebecca Campbell. Was it Rise, Sister Rise? That was a good one.
Oh, okay.
She's good.
I like her. Yeah. So my favorite by her is definitely Light is the New Black. That's my shit. I like that book. That is a great book, and there's exercises in it. So that one's one that I would highly recommend.
And it's an easy read too. It's very modern.
It's very pink.
Just
so
modern.
It's funny to visualize me holding this really pink girly book and reading it, but it's like so good. So
it is really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Then Kina said Da Bomb Squad, like DA.
Bomb Squad.
Okay, so Kristen's talking about the fuck budget. It's a video, and she showed me, and it's really good. We should share that on here sometimes.
Okay, what is it? Tell me what it is.
So it's called the fuck budget, and it's basically what we're talking about. So everything you say, when you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're spending some of your fuck budget, and eventually you're going to run out. It's a long video, but it's not a long video.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to share it.
I want to share it with you when we'll share it.
It has the word fuck in it.
I'm down. That's my favorite word, so. I know. Angela said it's about moderation. Yes.
Yeah.
Kina said strawberry Twizzlers are my jam. Lorraine said Bob
Those
Proctor,
are good too.
You Were Born Rich. Bob Proctor's good as well. And he's also on The Secret.
Yes.
So there you go. And we're caught up on
he is.
Comments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caught up on the comments. Awesome.
So my last thing on my list on slowing down to speed up was the saying no to others. It's okay to tell people no. I was a yes person. I was a people pleaser most of my life. And it's fucking exhausting. So I'm just going to help you out if you're in that realm and you've been that person or are that person. It's okay to say no and don't feel guilty about it. Because, again, this is my favorite quote, but you cannot give from an empty cup. And here's why. If you're a people pleaser and you're like giving and giving and giving and you're not reciprocating, get any energetic filling you back up, you're going to run out. Your tank's going to go on empty eventually. So it's important to fill yourself up first, then give to others, and then come back and fill yourself up, and then give to others. Don't give your last little bit of gas to somebody to get them around the corner before they're out of gas and you're out of gas and you're just both SOL. So I would just say that's another thing, saying no to others. Do you want to touch on that?
Definitely. I think there's a lot, here's Morgan touching on religion a lot, but a lot of that happens with me.
That's good. You're the bridge here, so let's go for it.
I know. I'm like,
don't judge it.
A lot of that I think comes with a lot of people's religious beliefs and upbringing. Like you know, they have that list of things that you put first, you know, and it's like your God and
we are God, so there's
marriage,
there you go.
Kids. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. And then, you know, it's about not being selfish. You have to give. Like you just have to give from your heart, like always giving, helping other people. But they never really talk about like
reciprocating.
You, because because you can never be a priority because God has to be a priority, which brings me to my point. You are God. So if you are neglecting yourself, you are neglecting God.
Yes.
But people, they don't have that because
they separate themselves.
You know, some people even may say like, what do you mean you're God? And I'll post things sometimes or I'll say things and they're like, that doesn't make sense. You're not God. I'm like, yes, we are God. We are a physical incarnation of the Creator. And that's just who we are. And I mean, I don't know. That's just as bluntly as I say it, is we are God. So
That's all there is
So
to
you
say.
have to take care of yourself. You have to practice self-care and slowing down and figuring out, you know, are you feeling a weird feeling? Is something off?
Why are you feeling
Figure
that
out
way?
what that is. Like, why?
Ask
Like,
yourself
have
the questions.
conversations with yourself. Yes. And figure it out so that you can work it out, so that you can be your best self.
So you can break cycles.
When the time is right for you to actually help people, you are in a beautiful heart space to be able to give from a full cup.
Yes.
You cannot give from an empty cup. And it is not, self-care is not selfish. And
100%.
That's how a lot of people have been raised. And I feel like a lot of religious organizations will tell you not to be selfish and that self-care is selfish. And then it's totally screwing up the way things are supposed to be, which I think is one of the reasons why everything's so fucked up right now. Everyone, they're told these things and that things, but they're not going inside themselves to ask themselves, what is right? What do I need to be doing right now? They're looking outside for answers when all the answers you need are inside.
They're literally all inside of you. There's nothing external.
Because you are God.
Yeah.
Like, God is right here in your heart, in your being. And you're neglecting that.
Which is, so there's a short story that I talk about on here all the time, but it was one that changed my life too, and it's called The Egg by Andy Weir. And it's a 5-minute read, and if you've never read it, you should just check it out. But it's essentially talking about what Morgan and I are both talking about, that you are God, you are each other, I am you, you are me, I am Morgan, she is me. Like, it's about how we're all connected and how we're just all experiencing life. We're all having this connection with each other, but we're really all one connected being, entity, energy source, God, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just experiencing itself in different forms. So at some point, like right now, we're interacting with ourselves at the same time. All those viewers watching us each other. Like,
hi, me.
Yeah, like it's really cool.
How am I?
And
I'm great.
Exactly. And I think that if you choose to see the world that way and through that perspective, I think that would really change how you interact with the world around you, because it did for me. I mean, I was always kind to others, like the whole do unto others as you had them do to you. You know, I did those things even when I was younger, but as an adult and having that perspective, it really just changes things, because, like I said, that's why I'm able to go diffuse this jerk guy that's being the biggest asshole there is, because I'm like, oh, well, he's me, you know? Or sometimes I'll view them as like a baby version of themselves, or like a toddler version of themselves. And like, they're just throwing a tantrum right now. Let me just go over here and like love on this little kid so that they're not upset, and we're going to move on with life. I don't know why he's barking in, sorry.
It's okay. It's a dimensional thing.
I know.
I don't know. He sees something.
Angela said, Writing Down Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell.
Yep.
You're going to love it. You're welcome in advance.
Thanks, me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lorraine said, Writing Down Your Soul by Janet Connor changed my life. I have not heard of that one, so I'm definitely going to check that out.
Writing Down Your Soul. Okay.
By
Thank
Janet
you
Connor.
for that recommendation.
So that's what Awaken's about. Like, this is a space that we hold together, that we interact with each other, and like, there's viewers on here all the time that tell us things we don't even know we share. This is a like-minded
We don't know
community.
Everything. We don't even begin to know the beginning.
Are you sure? I'm just kidding. There's no way to know.
0.5% of anything. I mean,
so that's why we created this, is because we want people interacting with each other, because we are here to learn from one another yet again. So thank you for all those things.
We have to unite. There's so much division with everything. Everywhere you look, it's just dividing people. Like, oh, this religion, this race, this sexual orientation, this blah blah. It's all bullshit.
They're all just labels.
Meant to divide you and create drama and anger and hate, and like get you to butt heads.
Yeah.
When really, like, we all want just to be loved. We want to be happy and to be in a tribe where we're accepted for who we are, and where we can share our thoughts and our feelings, even if they're not positive, just with someone that will let us vent to them so you can get it out.
Sometimes people just need to be
we want
heard.
to be together. We really do. And the system is designed. Here's talking about the system. The system's designed to keep us apart.
Be for vendetta.
And gosh, when you get into this, you really start to see these things. Like, you see it instantly. Like I'll read something and I'm like, oh shit, look, they're trying to divide those people and divide these things. And
the reason is because you brought it to your awareness. So now you know what to look for, and you can never
that's
unsee
that
it
over
now.
awareness, and you're like, oh my God, I can't unsee this.
But that's why we take time to slow down.
Exactly. You slow down, you realize, because I get in that space a lot. They're just being a mom and seeing just all the things that are going on in the world.
You've gotten a lot better at handling it, though.
I thank you for saying that. I've worked on that.
I can tell.
Because there's a lot of, I don't want to use the word scary, but I will. There's a lot of scary things, low vibe things happening in the world.
Always.
That we need to be aware of. And so sometimes it just becomes really overwhelming. And when that happens, I just come back to me. I'll disconnect from that because I'm like, oh shit, there's the system trying to pull me in. It's just trying to do it. And I'm like, you're not going to get me. So I'll disconnect and just realize the best thing I can do, the most powerful thing, the most rebellious thing to the system I can do is focus on me and my family and the things that I can control, which is creating my reality. I don't 100%. Have to let
you don't have to subscribe to anything.
Exactly. And then that brings me back into my power and back into love. And that's my tool for coping with this very interesting world that we're living in now. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my growth to see when that's happening and to pull away from it and to come back to my power and connect with those people that strengthen me. Because I've described this before. There's a lot of people awakening 100%. To these things going on and to their true power and love. And I just see it as a grid around Earth. I have a picture. I'll try to post it when this is off because it's on my phone, not my computer. And it's just surrounding the Earth, Mother Gaia, in light at different points all around the globe. And the more that we awaken, the stronger that grid is, and the brighter and the more higher vibrations we send out, and the more powerful we become because we're uniting
together
in our oneness and in our true power. And it's really incredible to feel. I'm an empath, and so I feel these things, and so I feel this. I talked about this before, this shift. There's something big that's coming. We don't know exactly what it is. It's not scary. It's going to be change. It's a big thing that's happening, but it does have to do with the awakening of humanity, and it's a good thing because we are raising the Earth's vibration to get away from all this low vibe shit storm that we've been stuck in for forever. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so a lot of us, we're the stop of the generational curses. There's just all these generational curses, all this crap that's just in our DNA, our ancestral lineage, and it's just we're stopping it right here. So that's why it feels heavy sometimes, because you're saying nope. We're creating that shield almost. Like no, you're not going any farther than
we're not
this.
putting
like,
our energy towards that.
Yeah, I'm like, this cannot cross. You shall not pass.
This shall
and we're all doing that collectively. And so it's this shield just around Earth. And it's really cool. It's hard to explain those things, but if you're watching this, you understand because human language is really awkward and clumsy.
It doesn't
but
cover
you get what I'm
saying.
Saying, right? You can't, there's not
things
proper
you can't put into words
to explain it. So that's the best I can do. So yes, we're combining our oneness and lightness, and it's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. So
I agree.
Just hang on. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but just hang on. We're doing the right thing.
And I think it's something that we've been going through for a while. Like in my belief, which I'm going to cover here in a second because of Lorraine's comment. I think it started around 2012, really. And there's some books that I've read. So let me read Lorraine's comment. Well, you'll have to read it because it's cut off.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Let's see. Lorraine says, if there Are any remote viewing fans? Oh, it just moved. The book by Jack Alice, Infinity's Flower, written as a possible reality during the period of 2012, where people were convinced we would implode overnight. He talks and shares the exercise of remote viewing through a great story about the frequency fence falling as more and more of us awaken. And then she says, the book takes you through a revolution of fear by government whom start sharing their true identities as grays. I knew those politicians couldn't be human, no heart. Oh yeah, this gets into the alien extraterrestrial
I'll touch
stuff.
on that in a second. So Angela said I have to go,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you so much for your time. I'll hopefully be able to continue to join in with you throughout the time you're doing this. Keep me posted. So we do these bi-weekly, and if you follow either one of us, you'll get updates.
Thanks, Angela.
When we do that. So thanks for joining us tonight, Angela. Yeah. So back to 2012. So there's another book that I read called 2012 Beyond the Serpent of Light by Melchizedek Drunvalo. Like I'm saying his name wrong. But basically it touched on, everybody was so, remember if you go back, everyone was like, oh my God, the world's going to end December, 22nd or 23rd of 2012 because the Mayan calendar ended, right? That's what everybody thought was going to happen. My belief that what happened was they were actually saying that's when the world was going to end as we knew it, meaning how we had viewed the world from this point forward would be different. And it talks about, how every 13,000 years the world shifts as far as like the dominant energy, whether it be feminine or masculine. And for the 13,000 years prior to 2012 of December or whatever, had been masculine energy. After that point, it switched to, it's 12-12. Okay, you're right. I knew it was somewhere around there. After that time, it switched to feminine energy. So that's why if you really go back and look at big things that have happened since 2012, I think you'd be surprised, like, to pay attention to what actually started changing. Because things are becoming more nurturing. That's why all the Me Too movement, like everything that started is because things are being brought to the light that
exposure.
Yes. Yeah. And that had to happen once the energy shifted, because now this is the new energy. The new energy, the feminine, is about nurturing, about taking care of things, the motherly type energy. And so we now just, to heal wounds, we have to let them air out first. To let them air out, we got to pull the shit out and bring it out to the surface and bring it to the light. And some of it we don't want to see, but it's been there forever. It's not like it just was basically a turn a blind eye before, where now it's being shown upon us like, oh, here, look at all this stuff. And everybody's like...
And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, but I was going to say, some people are in shock, but then some people are like, totally saw this coming. Yeah. So when people are like, when people say, there's so much shit just happening right now, I'm like, no, that's great. That means we're literally on the, like something's about, like you said, something's about to happen because...
Critical mass
because
is approaching.
Because when things get brought to light like that, something good is about to happen. Because when you talked about raising the vibration of the earth, my belief is that when we raise the vibration of the earth, to a certain vibration and frequency, lower vibrations can't exist on that anymore. And so we're basically purging a lot of shit. But in order to purge them, you have to bring them to light. You have to heal them to release them. And I think that's what we've been going through the past couple of years. That's my belief.
I would agree. Because I know at first when you start this journey and you're like, you kind of like do your first little jump down the rabbit hole. You're like, okay. And then you like trip and you fall down all these fucking holes and you're like, oh my God, like there's so much here.
So much.
And it's overwhelming at first. And then you get settled down in the rabbit holes and you're like, okay, well, I'm just down here. Like let's see where this one goes. Like, okay, I'm already down here. So it gets easier if you're just starting your awakening journey and getting into it and it's overwhelming. Just baby steps.
Yes.
It's going to be okay.
This is why
we're always here to talk about things because it can be a little bit shocking.
And this is why we also are talking today about slowing down to speed up. Because we have to slow down. We have to bring things to light, even in your own life. If you've went through trauma or anything like that, I work with lots of clients like that. We have to slow down to really look at stuff. So, for example, say a client, I meet with a client and they have back pain, right? And they're like, well, I don't know. I just have this back pain. I've had it for 10 years and it just won't go away. And no medicine helps it. And I'm like, okay, but have you ever stopped to actually think why you have this back pain? Of course, it's always no. Well, I might have moved something that was heavy or whatever. Anyway, so I just ask questions that they're not asking themselves And what I can do is I could go back and I can find the link in their mind of when this back pain started, why this back pain started, what this back pain really is, because it's not ever the back pain. It's just a symptom of the emotions, of the energy that they were experiencing this other time that they didn't deal with and release, and that's why they're having the back pain now. So in order to heal those things, we have to bring awareness to it. We have to stop, we have to slow down, to bring it out to light, and sometimes it's not, some of the things I find in there, they're not the prettiest things, but we have to bring them to light to heal them. And it's like Morgan said earlier, sometimes just people talking about those things is enough to let it go. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So then we work on things, we heal it, and then guess what? The back pain's gone. And everybody's like, oh my God, how did that happen? Like, 'cause we let it go. We got rid of the energy with it. But anyway, where I was going with that is, even with that stuff, you have to slow down. You have to ask yourself questions with everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the system will try to confuse you because it's very fast paced in this world. And so they're just like throw things at you. And then you don't even think to ask questions. But when you slow down and you're like, okay, what do I really think about this? That doesn't make sense. Or, oh, that does make sense. Like, and you just start asking those questions. It's just slowly work through the process to figure out what you think.
Yes.
Like what you know to be true.
And it's okay if you know those things too. And then like say someone else, like say Morgan tells me something about something I had a certain perspective on, and that now she shared a different perspective. I get to choose. Do I believe what Morgan's saying? Do I want to investigate what Morgan's saying? Do I at least want to entertain the idea of what she's saying and then come to my own conclusion about it? Not just blindly accept what she's saying either.
Right.
So even things we talk about on here, when we're talking about these things, the reason we're talking about them is we want you to create your own internal dialogue and ask yourself, does this align with you? And if it is, cool. And if it doesn't, that's fine. The point of it is to start that internal dialogue so that you're able to do that. That's why we talk about these things. So.
Absolutely. It's talking with God. I mean, right?
We're talking with
God,
ourselves,
so you're like,
you're welcome.
It's a direct line to God, you guys.
What up?
Like just
How
so
you doing?
God. Can we talk about this? I got a question.
Yeah, just go look in the mirror, guys. That's all you have to do. And then you've got it.
Yep.
Keena said the rabbit hole is home. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, we set up shop there, don't we?
Just
a little rabbit nest down in the rabbit hole.
Little burrow.
Oh my God. Oh.
All right, well,
let's see.
That's all of the notes that I have, except for the last one I had was just don't get caught up in the drama of life, create it, which is basically everything we just talked about. Don't get so wrapped up in the external that you just go with the flow of it instead of like being intentional and going. You can go with the flow, but you can still be intentional. So create it, the life that you do want to live. So
absolutely. Yeah, you got to leave that little bit of leeway for the universe to do what it needs to do to help you manifest whatever it is that you want. You can't, as a human, in your human body with your human mind, plan everything out the way you want it to go. Because the universe will laugh in your face and be like, you have
to be open to receiving the ways in which it comes to you.
Yeah,
100%.
Exactly. Like, this is what I want. This is what I want to focus on, and continue to focus on that. And then let the universe work out all, this is the universe. So many things. Let the universe do the hard work.
Yeah.
You do the easy work of just,
putting it out
I
there.
Want this.
And then
the universe will be like, okay, here you go. Here's the steps. Go with the flow. Just trust me and let it happen.
And then do all those things that we talked about, and that's going to help you attract it faster. Read those books that we talked about. They're going to help you attract things faster. Another good one is E Squared by Pam Grout. That's a good one. There's exercises in that. That's about law of attraction and things like that. It also talks about some things that we learned like in NLP about the RAS, the reticulating activated system in the back of the head. That when you look, it's like when you go to look for a yellow car, or it's like when you first get a car, right? Like you've never seen a car, you haven't noticed one on the road. You go out to the dealership, you buy a new car. As soon as you drive out of that dealership, you start looking around and you just see your new car that you thought was the only one, like all around you. You're like, oh my God, everybody's got this car.
Like, everywhere.
It's because your RAS is activated. So, and that's what you're looking for. So that's why you want to look for the good things, because your RAS is going to look for good things. If you look for bad things, it's going to like, okay, here you go. Here's some bad things. Like, That's why it matters about your perspective.
Order up.
Perception.
Like, here you go. That's what you ordered.
Kristen said
some
nothing
bad
you
stuff.
want is upstream. 100%. Go with it.
That's right.
All right. Do you have
Just go with the flow.
Do you have any other notes? Go with the flow, but navigate.
No.
Don't just blindly go and then go off a waterfall.
Oh yeah, you got to learn to navigate. Got to navigate those waters. It can, get a little bumpy, but
sometimes
you can get your general direction. It's all good. Oh yeah, it is fun. No, I don't. This was good.
Oh, Kristen said the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? That's a good movie. So there's another content for you guys to check out. I think, was it on Netflix? Or was
I was like, it sounds like that's
it
on
was
my Netflix,
it was on Gaia,
list.
but I don't remember if it's on Netflix or Hulu. But anyway, it's called What the Bleep Do We Know? You guys should check it out. It's really good.
We know shit.
We don't, and when we think we know,
we know
still
half
don't know.
1% of shit. Yeah. I know.
We're still learning every day. That's the point of this place.
Yeah, we were watching part of our homeschool. We watched Spirit Science.
I love
Spirit. I think you told me about that a long time ago.
If you guys don't know what Spirit Science is, you should get on it. Kids love it.
Oh my God,
it's great for kids, but even as an adult, I love it. So.
And they're not like super long. Like there's some things that are 10 minutes long.
10,
there's some longer things, 30 minutes.
There's some that are like an hour if you want to watch the movie.
But we were, I love it. One of the ones we watched today was about astral projection. And it was funny because I was telling my kids, I was like, we can really do that. And they're just like, wow. And for some people, they'd be like, that's bullshit. You can't fly around the universe. I personally never.
Sleep. You can actually meditate.
I don't consciously remember doing that. It's something I want to do, but I know that it's real. And so it was really cool because I didn't learn this till I was 30.
I do it a lot.
So it's really cool to see my 8-year-old and my 6-year-old talking to them about these things and, going through, like, you have to learn how to do it, you have to learn how to meditate, but this is real. And for them to believe me and, be like, okay, this is real. This isn't fake. And then we watched a clip of Doctor Strange. I love my Marvel movies.
I do.
And it's the one with the ancient one. Like he's just gone in there and he's basically like, are you like chakras and energy? All that's like bull crap. I can't believe I spent all my money to come out here. And she just like punches his astral body
and it just floats
out of his physical body. And he's like, oh my God,
what's happening? Yeah.
What did you do? And she's like, I took your astral body out of your physical body. He's like, teach me.
Yeah.
And so it's just
knowledge.
It's just so cool. I could like talk to my kids about these things and show them these things.
And they're so young. Like it's so cool they're learning that.
Yeah. And I'm like, where are you going to be at 30?
I can't even imagine
these things.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. I'm like light years ahead of where I'm at 34. So
and honestly, sorry, my dog's barking now. That's honestly the best teachers, though, are the ones who learn everything, and that they're.
He's like, someone's astral projecting in here.
Okay, I'm not gonna get him to stop barking because he's gonna do his thing. So whatever. Well, on that note, I'm good with my notes for the night. And I don't want him barking on the whole rest of this thing. So.
No, I'm good too.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And like I said, we do these are now bi-weekly on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah. Sorry.
Central
our next
Standard
one
Time.
is.
You got a calendar up?
The 20th. Or we were doing the 27th.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's Thanksgiving week. So yeah, next one will be the 27th. So that's 2 weeks from now, but it's fine.
Hold on.
Right?
I think we have one before then. Let me pull it up.
Do we? Or are we doing the 13th? Are we doing next week?
Bear with me. Hold on.
Okay.
No, the 20th is the next one. So if you
okay.
If you guys want to go,
good.
I do have the Awaken Vlogcast series events that I shared on my personal page earlier before this live. You can actually go in there and put interested on the different days so that you'll get a notification the day we're going live. But I went in there and put all the days that we are live so that you don't have to remember.
So 20th is the next one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is the 20th at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be here. And like I said, if you guys rewatch the replay, put any comments or anything like that, we always go back and answer. And if you know somebody that would benefit from these, feel free to share these all the time because you never know who is on your little circle of people who thinks like you do, but they don't necessarily talk about it out loud. So when you share these things, they may like, oh, they're like-minded too. So then they'll start talking to you about it. It's pretty cool. So
that's right. They can't find you if you don't talk about it.
Turn on your light, put it out there.
Just be yourself. And then if people think you're crazy, like, who cares?
Yeah, it helps weed them out faster, if
Yeah.
anything. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
that is true.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the 20th is the next live.
On the 20th. All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.